Okay, this is just a quick update stroke refresh course on how to do Pz2 doors. The main points to note are your A-frame always goes with the other A-frame side. This is the inside door, and if you look here, it has a thin lip. When you get the other frame side, it doesn't have an A sticker, and doesn't have an A sticker, and there's a thicker lip. That one goes on the outside. So the A sticker with the A sticker has the thin lip, and it goes on the inside, where it's nice and thin, and it can pass behind the other door. The other way to remember it is because it's the A sticker and the A sticker, and it has the inside door, which is the thin frame. It also has the thin parts that go with it. Okay, we're just going to do a quick make-up of the door, just to show you how it goes. Don't do this as the IKEA instructions say, flat on the floor, because it takes twice as long, and often we're being asked to build these in very confined areas where the customer's already made the frame. A quick tip to note is that on each piece of metal on these doors, as you're building it in this way, furthest left, furthest right on each piece of metal. Furthest left, furthest right. And that'll be the same on this piece, furthest left, furthest right, and on the piece above it, and on each corner. Furthest left, furthest right as you look at it. Okay, a neat little trick to remember is where you start is where your feet are. Now these are the feet for the door, and these are the wheel hangers. So we start where the feet are, so the feet always go to the left, and the wheel hangers always go up the other end. What that means is, once you've screwed it up on each door, the felt line will always go along the top, and you won't have to struggle trying to put it along the bottom. These ones are already pre-done, but you get the idea. Okay, what we're going to talk about right now is one of the biggest problems when it comes to putting together pack sliding doors. You start off with a screw that looks like this, and you're going to end up with a head that looks like that, and is stuck halfway into the pack's door, and you can't get it out. Two ways to avoid this. One, always use a brand new, really good Pz2 head. Now these ones by Wera, posi hardened, are the best I can find. Don't waste your time with the extra bits of diamond in it, it doesn't make any difference. Second thing is, you've got to get your weight right behind it. Now with the Wera posi, it fits right into the head. There should be no movement and no gaps whatsoever. Offer up your part, drop it in a tiny bit. Now get your weight right behind it, and I use number 14 on here. Now the 14 is just the right torque that if I need a hand driver, I can slacken it off. Now sometimes you'll find, you'll go in and it will stop, and you'll have about 2 or 3 mil. Take it out, drive it in. Take it out, drive it in. Take it out, drive it in. And keep doing that until it goes in. If it doesn't, take it away from this raised area, swap it with another part, and put that screw in there, and make it do it till it works. Don't ever leave one that's sitting up on a secondary raised surface, because it will bind against another door and scratch it. Ready? Action. Just remember, when you put your plates for the corner on, the wheels go towards the centre, and these nubbins go towards the outside of the door as they receive into the runner guide clips. Open your safety catches, and it's ready to go on your door. We're going to do a V-build on these Paxes, and it's really important that the fixings are tight because it's the only thing that's going to hold everything together and stable while we're up the top fitting the panel. Okay, so we start with our first piece against the wall. That gives us something to push against. I've got my plinths in like so, and I'm going to take my base panel, offer it onto the plinth, and just push that gently in. Taking my drill, I want that tightened, and now I'm going to bring the second piece into the side. Now remember, when we're doing a V-build, I always like to keep my piece as close to the floor as possible on carpet, and if I was working on wood, I'd put a piece of cardboard underneath as I was sliding it along. The best way to do this is to be behind the piece and offering it in where you can see it. Got my front plinth in first. There we go, and that's my back one. And it's not in the right place, so I'm going to have to do it again. It's always better to have it wider and push it in as you compress it. Now that's tightened up, and because I've tightened the fixings at the beginning, I know I've got the strength in that U shape when I go up and fit the top panel. Okay, let's get the top panel on. What we're going to do, we're going to go to the top of the ladder and we're going to use the wall side as our false friend, push against it first, and then bring ourselves to fit this side in afterwards. Note how I put the piece on top here as a third hand, supporting it as I go, and I offer that into the wall. And I know it's not going anywhere now. And I fit this side in. Okay, now I'm going to put the back panel on quickly, and then we'll have done our V-build. Okay, so the most important thing when we're doing a vertical build is that our back panel sits in our frame square. The most important way to do that is get a 90-degree angle at the bottom. Now I'm going to do something which I call penguin feet, which I'm going to put my feet up and out like this, and that's to keep that bottom panel in the lip. Do you want to watch how I do it? Welcome to the penguin cam. Now we're as far south as we can go. We have to be really careful here that we make sure that our feet hold this in the pack's lip. Now the first time I did this it was really tricky, but give it 3 or 4 goes and you'll nail it every time. And by nail it, I mean staple it. This in really tight. Now I've stapled a nice 90 tight degree angle along here and up here. Now I know because this is 90, the rest of it is going to be 90. I'm just going to staple the rest of it now. Now I've come up to the top, I'm just going to make sure that it all sits underneath the line, like so.
Action.
So the key things you need to know about your stapler are, use 12mm staples and never leave a gap of more than, say, 4 inches, which at the most is sort of round about the area of the front of your stapler. If you leave more than that gap, the moisture can get into the back panel and make a bump, and your customer will call you back. Okay, just a quick tip, which I think goes slightly against what IKEA tells, in the direction that IKEA tells you to do, is I've got my grey feet up there, which are clipped up into this bar, and I've made sure that this bar overhangs the upright here and on the far end by just a few mil. I'm going to take my feet like so and offer it into my hand with the foot placing into the palm, foot into the palm. What that means is, if I've got my screw on the end of here, as I offer it up, I can lock it into the bar and screw straight up. Gives me a nice open area for me to do this. Now my work trousers mean that I've got all my screws and all my feet in here. So I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to open it out like that, screws on the end, and I'm going to go back, lock the feet into the bar and screw up for it. Continue on. Okay, so we're ready to hang the doors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer these lower feet onto the front of the rail, drop it down, lift it up, and then put the wheels over the top, and I'm going to do the same on the other side. So we put it on the front, drop it down 1, up, come up to the top, lift the other door slightly and allow it to go over, and then I'm going to come over to here, put the first foot on, drop it down 1, lift it up, and that's hooked on, and that will slide. And then repeat with the other door. Once you check your door slides nicely and it's on the right run rails, just remember to put the safety catches on. Onto the second outside door, I'm going to do the same, but I'm going to allow this to drop into the second section. So I'm going to offer it up, it's going to drop 1, 2, then I'm going to lift the whole door and hook the wheels on the top. I'm going to do this halfway over the frame, run it across, and then do the back feet and the back wheels once it's on. So I offer it up, 1, 2, lift and hook the wheels over, like so. Now this is the important part. As you lift the wardrobe, you need to keep it level, flush, and I'm watching here to make sure that the wheels just pass. Then I'm going to put it down for a second, change my hand grip, use my knee to push the bottom foot in, let it down 1, 2, up and over. Now, before I do anything, lightly move it to check I'm on the right runner. And I am. And now I'm going to pop up the top and put the safety catches on.